Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Kitsky. We begin with the vice presidential debate tonight. Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris are expected to take the debate stage in just a couple of hours. Now, the spotlight on the debate in Salt Lake City tonight had already intensified after President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden's debate last week. As the country grapples with a global pandemic and a slumping economy, President Trump and a number of his staff have tested positive for COVID-19. Now, plexiglass barriers between the two candidates were installed on both sides of the debate stage yesterday. Harris requested the additional safety measures because of Vice President Pence's potential exposure to the president, who tested positive for coronavirus last week. Pence's camp has complained the plastic barrier is excessive since the distance between the two has already been increased to 12 feet. The vice president has been tested multiple times and has been negative each time. However, several White House officials tested positive after testing negative multiple times following President Trump's positive diagnosis. Those who attend Wednesday's debate will also be asked to wear masks while in the hall. And a reminder, you can watch the debate right here on Channel 17. It begins at 5:30, right after 17 News at 5. And tomorrow, we're hosting a debate between two candidates running for mayor in Arvin. Councilmember Olivia Trujillo is running against incumbent Mayor Jose Garola. 17's Perla Shaheen and Telemundo's Jose Gaspar will moderate the debate. They'll ask questions the voters need answered, with topics covering COVID-19, marijuana sales, and water contamination. You can catch it live on our website at 7 p.m. The first half hour will be in English, and the second half will be in Spanish. Taking a look now in your 17 Crime Watch, a man is dead after being shot in central Bakersfield. It happened just before 9:30 last night on California Avenue, right across from Bakersfield High School. BPD says witnesses reported hearing multiple gunshots in the area. When officers arrived, they found a man who had been shot multiple times. He was taken to the hospital where he died. The name of the victim has not yet been released. Police described the shooter as a man in dark clothing wearing a black mask. And we are learning more about a suspicious death in South Bakersfield, now ruled a homicide. Sheriff's deputies received a report of a man down on M Street near South Chester Avenue around 3:40 yesterday afternoon. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The coroner identified the man as 71-year-old Jimmy Irwing. It's not known how Irwing died, but deputies say he had an unknown injury to his chest. An autopsy will be performed. Meantime, anyone with information is urged to contact KCSO at 861-3110 or Secret Witness Hotline at 322-4040. And we now know the names of 3 people killed in a crash on Monday after a 19-year-old blew through a stop sign in Shafter and struck another vehicle. It happened around 4 Monday afternoon on Poplar Avenue near Orange Street. The Kern County coroner says 27-year-old Juan Gabriel Luna Carranza and Ramon Arreola died as a result of the crash. The 19-year-old driver of the other vehicle, Yolanda Gutierrez, also died, according to the coroner's office. Now, the California Highway Patrol says it has not yet determined if drugs or alcohol were factors in this crash. Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here in Kern County. Public Health announcing 65 new cases and no new deaths today. The number of lives lost in Kern remains at 387. There are over 10,600 people recovering at home from the virus, while 51 are isolated at the hospital. Kern County has seen over 32,000 cases of COVID-19 since the pandemic began back in March. And some good news for our struggling economy this afternoon. We could see fewer restrictions as early as next week, moving from the most restricted purple tier to a less restrictive red tier.
Up until last week, it's been really slow for us.
A lot of people's been asking already when we're going to be open, so we're just waiting.
Kern Public Health says the county just barely met the requirements to move up a tier. Now we just have to maintain these numbers until next Tuesday. That means the county has to continue to make special efforts to ensure the health of particular vulnerable communities continue to have fewer than 63 new cases a day and maintain a testing positivity rate of below 8%. To do this, Supervisor Mike Maggard says everyone should get tested, not just those feeling sick.
The only people that were getting tested were, to a large extent, people who were already ill. So what we're doing now is trying to make more people aware of their health and their opportunities to measure and monitor where they are with this. And by increasing testing, we think that will, and that has in fact brought the rate down.
Moving up a tier means restaurants, churches, movie theaters, gyms, museums, zoos, and more can reopen. Restaurants and churches can open at 25% capacity or 100 people, whichever is fewer, and gyms must be at 10% capacity. Nothing changes with bars and breweries. Only the ones that serve food can remain open for indoors. Though things are looking up for local businesses, it's important to remember that things could easily close again if people don't take the proper precautions. Health officials say we're all expected to wear a mask in public, avoid large gatherings, and wash our hands. Local officials also say everyone should get tested on a regular basis. That helps slow the spread by identifying asymptomatic people, since the CDC says up to 40% of all coronavirus cases are people with no symptoms, but can still transmit the virus to people at risk. It's important to identify those infected early to reduce the spread. There are places all around the county where you can get a free test. You can make an account on this website, doineedacovid19test.com, to find a testing site and schedule an appointment. You can use that site to check your results from previous tests. You can also call 211 or go to kerncounty.com to schedule. In your education news, local students are set to get special training on the life-saving skill of hands-only CPR. The American Heart Association announced yesterday that the Kern High School District will receive 15 CPR training kits thanks to a grant from Valley Strong Credit Union. The kits will let school staff walk students through the process of providing hands-only CPR as well as the use of an automated external defibrillator. KHSD says it will incorporate the CPR training as part of its health curriculum. And let's send things over now to Moses Small. Now, it is another thing we're worried about is the air quality out there. Another concern right now.
Absolutely. It is the beginning of fall, and we're all happy to have a break from the heat. But unfortunately, our air quality still has quite a bit to improve. At Bakersfield, sitting at 84 degrees right now, 6 miles of visibility, which is better than some of the days we've seen over the past couple weeks, but still more to go. And then you're going to see that temperature drop all the way down to 71 degrees by midnight tonight. To Hatch Peak, considerably cooler right now at 81 degrees. And we're going to see those temperatures dip in the evening as well, getting all the way down to the 50s early tomorrow morning. The air quality index right now is reading 129, and that is more particulates in the air than health experts say anyone should breathe. So do your best to spend as much time indoors as possible to reduce your exposure. And when we take a look at our satellite radar here, you're going to notice lots of cloud coverage flying over the state with precipitation in Washington and Oregon. And so we're going to see something that we have not seen very much here recently, and that is cloud coverage. And now looking at Hurricane Delta, it made landfall at the Yucatan Peninsula today. And fun fact, is the strongest hurricane ever to be named after a letter of the Greek alphabet. And it far surpasses Hurricane Beta in 2005. And so it made landfall at the Yucatan Peninsula today. Wind speeds getting up to 125 miles per hour, reaching all the way into the northern parts of the country through the south. Alabama and Louisiana already declaring states of emergency. But fortunately, we don't have any tropical storms to worry about here. Bakersfield tomorrow dealing with some haze, but getting up to 89, going down to 66. Some parts of the mountains will be cooler. Bear Valley getting to 77, down to 55. Lake Isabella reaching to 92, and then Edwards reaching up to 50. And here's a quick peek at your 7-day forecast. We're going to see the clouds roll in on the weekend, and that thermostat's going to drop as we head into Saturday and Sunday. In the mountains, it's only going to get up to 64 degrees on Sunday, going down to a very chilly 44 at night. And in Lake Isabella, Saturday, another chilly day, getting up to 66 and down to 44.
Finally at noon, Edwards Air Force Base is getting ready for a big air show, and this year you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. Because of the pandemic, the decision was made to shift the 2020 Aerospace Valley Air Show into a hybrid air show, so the air show will be coming to you. And events are running all week, including STEM webinars for students. The flyover happens this Friday and Saturday across the Golden Empire. Now you can find more information about this air show on our website, kget.com.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.